Hello and welcome to another rousing episode of AGT Time. I am Cody Mims, and here to probably be the voice of the audience this week is Cody Patterson.
Just like Mirror Image, I'm only here to impress Simon.
Well, let's hope he's listening. This episode is causing a bit of a stir, but I found myself really enjoying it. So let's get into it right here, right now. Judge Cuts Week 2. What did you think?
Well, for the performances, I would give it kind of a B minus. But once we get to results, I think it quickly drops to a D.
Okay.
So,
Wow. Mm. Yeah. Not a good week this week for a lot of people. This episode I found very interesting, and I would actually probably give it an A minus.
wow. Okay.
And the reason for that is I think this episode AGT proved that its singers can be interesting. There were a good bit of singers this time, and a lot that I actually liked, or at least was very interested in. So,
Well, I can't wait to hear your thoughts on this.
yeah, the first singer is not one that I found very interesting, though. We started off the night with Samulus, seeing him for the first time, and he sings very high, which I thought was pretty
He
good. I
does
think he's
sing
got a
very
pretty
high.
good
Yes.
high range. What did you think?
I actually enjoyed Samulus. I thought he was very entertaining. He's kind of an interesting fella. He can hit some high notes. He's saying, "You Make Me Feel Mighty Real" by Sylvester, which I'm not very familiar with, but it was a disco song. And I thought it really kind of fit the theme that he was going for. He had the kind of gold outfit, and he had this really interesting necklace that he was wearing. Um, I, I thought he was thoroughly entertaining.
Yeah, I liked his high range. His theme actually was sort of the issue with this one. I think it was a bit too kitsch for me. And I honestly think I might have preferred the first audition. Apparently, the judges didn't really like it as much. I don't. Simon called it something. I don't like Cavalier, something like that. But I would have been interested to see that because I think he has potential as a singer.
Yeah, I think he called it cabaret.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
So unless you got anything else for Samuels, we can talk about Stephen Scott.
Yeah, let's talk about Steven.
Okay. This episode's starting to feel like auditions at this point because just seeing a bunch of acts we've never seen before. So this comedian comes out and he does a voicemail routine, comedy routine, and his one joke was good, I guess.
Yeah, he basically just did one joke, but it felt like a very abbreviated performance because he was only able to do the one joke. But even that one joke was really funny.
Yeah, I did like it as well, but unfortunately, we will not be seeing more of Stephen Scott.
No, you mentioned that the beginning of the show seemed more like auditions. 4 of the first 5 acts we had never seen before.
Wow. Um, yeah. After Stephen, we saw one that we did see before, the Quiddlers, who were quiddling backstage. They were staying in their weird costumes the whole time. Um, and they did this act where they were the AGT judges. They played the theme song from a couple seasons ago, and then they went into that Spice Girls song we hear like 53 times a season. What did you think of this?
I really like the Quiddlers. I think they're hilarious. They walk around on their hands and dress up in different outfits. I like that they went with the judge theme this week, whereas in auditions they went with the village people and dressed up in the YMCA outfits. I thought this was absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, they played the judges card pretty early. I think this is kind of the farthest this act could possibly go, and I guess it was their last performance, so it makes sense, kind of. But The judges had some funny reactions to this too. They were like, "What more could they possibly do next?" And how he said, "Oh, I don't mind if they do us again," which is, I guess, shows you kind of how they're thinking. I didn't like this one as much. I didn't think they were all that funny. Have we talked about this act before, or were they on episode 6?
They must have been on episode 6. Let me quickly look. Yes, they were in episode 6. That's where they dressed up as the village people.
Yeah, I haven't found these guys all that funny, but they got some cool little physics how they dance around.
It was interesting for their audition in episode 6. I actually said I gave them a no for me, but for some reason this week I really liked them.
Yeah. Well, okay. Next we saw this. This is where we saw the unnamed dance act, right?
Yeah, I think I caught their name as Straight Jacket, spelled STR, the number 8, and then jacket.
Yeah. So we didn't see a whole lot from them. You got any thoughts on them?
No, I put in my notes they won't go through because it was an abbreviated. It was part of an abbreviated montage.
Yeah.
It's a little disappointing. I kind of wanted to see a little bit more of them.
Yeah, always good to see dance acts. Then we saw Soto and T-Dot, who hit the ground pretty hard at the end of their audition, but aside from that, they didn't really wow me.
Yeah, they were kind of just vanilla, but once again, it was another one of those abbreviated, just like Straight Jacket. I pretty much copied and pasted the same thing from the previous note that they won't go through. Again, it's a little disappointing. I think if we saw a little bit more of them, we might have a different tune on them.
Yeah, possibly.
Simon did say they were better than they were the first time, so I'm kind of curious what they did in their audition.
Yeah. And then we saw an act that kind of ended up being a straight competitor to them. Junior and Emily returned, and I was very excited about this one, but I ended up feeling like they could have brought more fire. It was a bit disappointing.
Yeah, when they started, I was like, dang, they're doing pretty good. But then their performance was a little short. The judges mentioned, they were like, is that it? Is that all they're doing? Because pretty much Emily just spun around a bunch, which I still think is pretty impressive. But it did not feel like it was a full 90 seconds.
Yeah, it felt like really good build-up, but I wish it had they'd taken it further.
Yeah, Simon even built them up pretty well because he just kept saying that they're amazing. So he expected a lot more out of them as well.
Yeah. I think we all did. My mom brought my sister into the room, who's a dancer, to see this one. Speaking of disappointment, Joku was next, and this I guess did not go as planned.
No, I guess the popularity and the celebrityism really got to Joku's head because we found out Joku gets her own seat on a plane, all the attention that she was getting from fans, and I think it just it got to her because she couldn't perform under pressure.
Yeah, it was a good idea to bring out another chicken if it had played, but this was just some classic AGT comedy, I guess.
Yeah, it's a shame that it couldn't work out, and they got 4 buzzes, so they got sent directly home.
Yeah. Oh well. After that, we saw Dakota, who was the other singer I don't find all that interesting. I thought this performance was pretty boring.
No, he pretty much just had his looks going for him, with his grin and his hefty jaw.
Yeah. But then we started to get into the singers I found a bit more intriguing. In Chase Goring. What did you think of this?
I'm a little indifferent on Chase. This is, of course, our golden buzzer for the night. He's the guy that raps during his songs, which it just seems like there's a lot going on when he's singing. Both times he sang some really fast songs, so I'm curious to see if he can slow it down a little bit. I do like him. I think he can sing and he can play the guitar. I would just kind of like to see if he's got any range and if he can play anything a little bit slower.
Yeah. I don't like how he crams in those fast rhythms either. I think it shows that he's not very good at writing lyrics because his tune I thought this time was much more enjoyable than the last one, and overall it was such a better performance. But it's like the words just didn't fit in the song, and I wasn't a fan of what they said or anything or whatever too. But I'm kind of looking forward to seeing more of Chase.
Well, yeah, and DJ Khaled would kind of disagree because he thinks that his lyrics are real and authentic.
Yeah, like an acapella. Was that the point of the song, or did he just connect that metaphor himself?
I think he may have just connected it himself.
Yeah, that was better than the lyrics of the song, I think.
Yeah. And I'm starting to see that this is one of the problems with the Golden Buzzer, because the first good act that they have, they buzz it. They just immediately gives them the Golden Buzzer.
Yeah, he even said, "Does this thing work again?" So
yeah, he tried to Golden Buzz another act later on, and that's one of the problems with having this show being so bottom heavy. You know, all the good acts being at the end, is the first one that comes along, they get the Golden Buzzer.
yeah, I agree. I thought he might go for something crazy like the Quiddlers, but he did go the super predictable route. I was talking about this with someone on Reddit. It's like, of course, Chase is gonna get the Golden Buzzer no matter what. But I wrote down he could still be one of the best acts of the night. I don't know if I would still say that, but it wasn't terrible.
No, it wasn't terrible, but DJ Khaled is a music producer, so he's going to go more for a singing act than he is, say, the Azeri brothers or the Godfathers.
Yeah. So speaking of the Azeri brothers, they were on next, and I think the 2 seconds we saw were pretty cool.
Oh, I love the Azeri brothers. I think they bring danger and surprising tricks that we don't typically see, and this is the type of stuff that I like to watch on AGT. This is one of the reasons I tune in, is for the type of stuff that the Azeri brothers and the Godfathers and Tulga do. So the next 3 acts I was really excited to see.
Yeah, were the Azeri brothers the ones who like stood on the shovel on the guy's neck or whatever?
Yes, that's them.
No,
and there's only the one brother that talks. The other 2 kind of just stand there.
Yeah.
But yeah, he pulled a nail out with his teeth, and does all sorts of disgusting stuff, and that's what I really like.
Yeah, I did not like their audition, but this one was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So next we saw the Godfathers, and I was not too wowed by this. I thought they did something that plenty of cheerleaders can do.
Maybe. And it's hard to get wowed over something when you literally only see 5 seconds of it.
Yeah.
I would like to see more of their act, because I think I really like what they do, and I think I could buy in more to it, and you would probably buy more to it if you could see at least 30 or 45 seconds of it.
Yeah, probably so. I don't remember their audition. Did we see it?
Yeah, we saw their audition. It was basically the same thing where they balance on each other and do some tumbling, and it was very similar to the 5 seconds that we saw here.
Yeah. So I hope well, I guess we won't see them again, right?
We will not see that again, and I'm really sad about that.
Oh, okay. Well, next we saw an act that I was also very excited about, because I know you were too. It was Tolga.
Yes, and they kept previewing him with this spinning the log on his back and putting Howie and Heidi in the little swing set and spinning them around. So we saw him previewed several times, and I was hoping we were going to get to see more of him. And what we did see, I really loved.
Yeah, I bet this is awesome live.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah.
I wrote down, I found this very entertaining, but sadly we probably won't see it again. And yeah, goodbye to Tolga. I liked it. I thought it was a really good talent. It was funny seeing the judges up there.
These three acts, I would love to see them come back as a wild card. I don't think it's going to happen because none of the judges really hyped up any of these three acts.
Yeah. So that is a shame. But next we saw Mirror Image, who we've never talked about on this show before. Um, this could be the most interesting portion of our show. We've never talked about them before, but what do you think of them the first time?
I did not like them the first time, and I did not like them this time. They cannot sing, they cannot dance. They're kind of funny. They're really, they have a lot of personality. I'll give them that. They're singing. I'm. They sing like they were a cast. They were part of the cast of either Glee or High School Musical.
How's that?
It just seems like it's that style of singing and that style of dancing that they were just trying to imitate either Glee or High School Musical.
Yeah.
It's not very, and it's a bad version of those.
Mm-hmm.
It's really disappointing. I know we're probably jumping ahead here, but I just got to get this out. It's really disappointing that they're moving on and not some of the other better acts.
Yeah. Okay. So why do people say that they can't sing? Because I feel like they can sing.
Well, I'm not going to speak for others. I'm only going to speak for myself. When I hear them sing, they're off key. When they're dancing, they're not in sync. It looks like there are. I know that there are certain dancing routines that are meant to not be in sync, but they look like they're trying to be in sync, but they're not. It sounds like they're trying to harmonize, but they're not doing a very good job of it. It doesn't sound very good. They need more work.
Okay. Well, I like their singing, and I guess I can see why people say that they can't dance. But this act, the first time around, made me so happy, and I was really happy to see them again. I was smiling through their whole intro. I think they're so lovable, and I really love them again. They make me happy, and
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe it's just that they have a lot of heart or whatever the judges said about Lori, but I don't know. They just they bring glee to the stage, I guess you could say.
I'm sure they're great kids. I'm sure they're real nice, lovable kids, but we're trying to judge on talent, and I don't think that their talent is very good.
Yeah, I
When I compare them to the other 19 acts, I guess 18 because Joku was, or maybe even 17 because we had a golden buzzer. When I compare them to the other 17 acts, I think there was probably two or three better than them that should have gone through that didn't get to go through.
okay. Well, I guess I understand, but I was very happy to see them go through. I did not think it was going to happen at all, but yeah. So we'll see them in the lives.
Yeah, we'll get to the results here in a minute, but I thought it was a big upset of who they were against.
Yeah, yeah. So next up was another singer, Evie Claire. She, I guess, is it vocal fry? Is that what she sings with?
A what?
There's like this like voice thing that some people do when they sing called vocal fry.
I'm not familiar with that.
Okay.
Can you explain that?
It's like it sounds like not how you would talk. It's like the R's kind of disappear or something. I don't know.
Okay.
Um, like to sound like Florence Welsh, I guess. So Florence and the Machine.
Okay.
Um, but anyway, I really like this. I thought she sounds so mature and so much older than she really is, and whoever said, I think it was Howie, that this was a performance to make you melt. I kind of agree.
She didn't really stick out much for me. I thought she was fine, nothing spectacular. Um, I think that DJ Khaled wished he had the golden buzzer though. This would probably been another one that he would want to use it on. She did sing "I Tried" by Macy Gray. I thought she did a fine job. She probably would have gotten. She may have gotten into the top 7 for me. I think she did. Yes, she is one of the top 7. So she would have gotten in, probably barely for me though. But
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but watching this, I realized I actually feel excited about the singers this year.
wow,
And where no other category is kind of, making itself known, I think singing might be my category for season 11 right now.
well, singing would have to be your category because over 50% of the acts that have gone through are singers. So it's pretty much all you have to choose from right now because they're not letting anything else go through.
Is it really over 50%? I heard
It's
it was
over
like
50%. Yes.
Okay.
That's
wow.
Yeah.
Well, all right. But I don't know why Simon isn't more excited by this. I actually thought that the imperfections made the act better. I really thought there was just so much heart in her singing, and I feel like I connected with it emotionally.
Okay. Fair enough.
So Kyle Eschen kind of got montaged next. I thought this was nothing fresh, all pretty boring. What did you think?
It was abbreviated, so we didn't get to see a lot of it. I thought he added some humor. I thought it was fine. I think we've seen an act similar to this before, so it wasn't anything spectacular.
Xavier Mortimer was after him, and I thought this was a little bit better, but it didn't really leave me baffled.
I would like to have seen more of what he did. I really liked his head trick. I thought it was pretty cool. I just wish I could have seen more of it.
Yeah. So this was sort of leading up to Colin Cloud, who I think I really liked last time, but this time my opinion of him changed a bit. What did you think of this performance?
Well, you remember how much in season 11 I loved the clairvoyance?
Yeah.
I love this guy.
Really?
Yes. He's very similar to what the clairvoyants did, or they do. But he does it by himself. He calls himself the real life Sherlock Holmes. I really like the trick that he did with Mel B. The one with Howie with the cell phone wasn't as good. The one with Mel B was much better. If I had a golden buzzer, I would definitely give it to him.
Oh, interesting. I was not a fan of this one. I think it was pretty clearly a fake lock screen when he did that trick.
Yeah.
And I kind of felt like he's just been creeping around the AGT grounds, like watching what Mel B eats and stuff. So, I don't know. The word guessing was by far the best of the lot, but overall I didn't really like it. It felt kind of dumb.
You don't think that she really has a Stacy in her life that was really mean to her?
No, but I mean, I think he said, I couldn't find that out from Twitter or anything, right? But, he could find that out somehow,
I guess if you dug hard enough and asked enough questions, you probably could.
Right. I mean, there's other people from her childhood who knew that, I'm sure.
Yeah. I don't know. I still think it's spectacular.
Yeah. Well, I hope he steps it up for next round. He's going through, right?
He is, and his presentation value is really high. He's very good with the judges and the crowd.
Yeah, that's true. So next we saw Pelican 212. I still love that name. As for the performance, I thought it could have been worse.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't get much of it. It's basically just is it a family band,
Mm-hmm.
and it was very abbreviated. So I mean, I didn't pay much attention to it.
Yeah, they had some kids on trumpets. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, it's true.
Puddle's Pity Party was up next. He had an interesting but unnecessary backstory.
I liked his backstory. We found out Puddles was in a clown band. We saw some VHS recordings with some really bad green screen.
Yeah. Do you think that was made as just for this, or do you think there's any truth to that?
Oh, I'm sure there was some truth to it. I mean, it looked pretty authentic.
Yeah.
I know you can pretty much fabricate anything, but it looked pretty authentic.
Yeah. What did you think of the act?
I liked it. He sang "All by Myself," which I think is kind of going to be Puddle's theme, as he's going to sing these really sad, lonely songs. I like Puddles. I like everything he represents. DJ Khaled said that he's confused by Puddles, but he's not going to be judging it anymore, so that's fine. I'm glad we're going to see some more of Puddles.
Yeah. The act and the premise are starting to feel a bit too incongruous to me. Like they played this dumb happy music right after, or like the second he finished singing, and it seemed very weird. I think his premise is trying to be funny, and then his actual performance is supposed to be like emotional, I guess. Unless it's also supposed to be funny, I don't know. But that part of it is not working as well for me this time. But that being said, this guy is a really good singer, and I would say I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it too, and if I could pull for any one singer, I'd pull for him.
Yeah, I kind of feel like he's going to accidentally talk one of these days. Doesn't have that tape on his face to keep him silent.
That is true. Yep.
But then they showed some people backstage freaking out, and I thought I had missed Yoli, but they showed her next. I thought her intro was way too long, honestly.
Oh, her intro was longer than some of the montages that they showed.
Yeah, yeah. So this song that she sang is really gotten old for me, but I very much like this performance. I thought she breathed some new life into "Love on the Brain" by Rihanna.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with this song. I thought she did a really good job with it. AGT's gotten really good at ending the shows with these really good acts. But again, that's the problem with the Golden Buzzer is he used it on the first good act that he came to, when you have some of these at the very, very end that are probably much better.
Yeah. I thought she had a clever way to avoid the swear word in the song. Also, she kind of rearranged the order. But yeah, that was the last act of the night, and I found myself enjoying like 5 of these singers, which is more than usual, and so I enjoyed that part of it because I usually don't get to experience that.
Well, that's good you enjoyed 5 singers, because that's exactly how many went through. So
Yeah. So yeah, results indeed. Do you want me to read the list of who went through and who did not?
yeah, just kind of go down the list. That's fine.
Going through Chase Goring, Puddle's Pity Party, Mirror Image, Junior and Emily, Colin Cloud, Evie Claire, and Yoli Mayer. Eliminated Joku and Achan, Dakota Striplin, Samulus, The Quiddlers, Straight Jacket, Pelican 212, Xavier Mortimer, Solto and T-Dot, The Godfathers, Aziri Brothers, Tolga, Steven Scott, and Kyle Eschen.
Yeah, I had a real issue with the way they kind of grouped some of these together and dismissed some and told some they're going through. Because when Mirror Image went up against the Quiddlers, I was for sure the Quiddlers were a shoe-in for that. I was thinking there is no way that Mirror Image is going through. So I thought that was a huge upset. Then they put Pelican 212, Straight Jacket, and I'm not sure who was the third one in that group. I didn't quite catch it. But there were 3 groups where they told the entire group that they're going home. And then they had Colin Cloud all by himself. And then Evie Claire and Yoli come out together and put all three of them together, kind of as a bunch. When I really wish they would kind of have mixed maybe Colin Cloud in and then Evie or Yoli in with some of these others. I just didn't like the way that they bunched them together like that.
But then Howie can say, "You already know," to Colin.
Yeah.
But yeah, I see your point.
I just think overall this was not a very good episode. I think the production value was really low. I'm not going to comment on like this group as a whole because I know they really don't know how the performance is going to go until till it's their time. It's not like auditions where they can pick and choose where they want the performance to air. But just the way they kind of did things. I mean, I'm not sure what I'm getting at, but it just didn't seem like a very good night.
Okay. Well, I was pretty happy with some of the results, honestly. I really did think that we were about to lose Mirror Image to Quiddlers, but in my view, they triumphed. I know that's not a popular opinion.
Well, I guess you'll see them again in a few weeks.
Yeah, I can't wait. And I like how Puddles doesn't act happy when he goes through.
Yeah. It's like Tape Face. I guess Tape Face did get happy. He just couldn't really say anything.
Yeah, when they had Junior and Emily on with the other dancers, there were some really weird words from Simon. It was like not even a fake out. It was just really confusing.
Yeah, I was actually getting worried for Junior and Emily at that point.
Yeah,
I mean, it could have gone to any one of those three.
Yeah,
or they could have sent all three of them home.
Yeah, I'm happy about that too, and I'm kind of sad to lose Tolga.
Yes. Yep. Do you see any of these acts coming back as a wild card?
Yeah, that's certainly possible. I don't know who they would pick. Maybe the Quiddlers, especially if it was like up to Howie or something.
Yeah, how much influence, or let me say this: how much do you think Simon is trumping the other votes, like the other judges, and saying, "No, this one is going through, whether you like it or not"? Do you think that any of that happens?
Well, he did not like Mirror Image, so
that is true. He did buzz them.
Yeah, might be making some deals.
Yeah. Hey, if you put this one through, then I'll let you have Mirror Image.
Yeah.
No. That's a shame.
Yeah. I remember Jana Brown last year singing Rise, the song they played when they showed these results, and it has been in my head ever since. That was my favorite musical performance last year. And then at the end, there were two very emotional people hugging in Yoli and Evie. So I like that grouping.
Yeah.
But that's week 2 for you, folks. Did you see the preview of next week?
I did not. No, I watched it on Hulu, and once it gets to that point, it kind of just goes to the next show in my queue.
Yeah, it seemed like a lot of stunts, a lot of danger acts and things like that. So I'm sure they'll be awesome, but there doesn't seem like a lot of variety right now. But
no, there's not. It's a very high percentage of singing acts. We don't have a single comedian yet. Danger acts like the Azari brothers, those type of acts, Tolga, they're getting wiped out, and I would really like to see more of that stuff.
Yeah. And I'm very happy to see Laverne Cox judging next time. She's awesome. I love her on Orange is the New Black.
Yes. Yeah, she's great on there. Now, does she do anything else besides acting? Is she a singer? Is she a stand-up comedian? Does she have any other type things?
She's a bit of an activist, but aside from that, I guess it's mostly just acting.
Okay.
So, yeah. Do you want to hear who is confirmed for next week? It's not. We don't have everybody.
Yeah, let's hear that. I'd love to know who's going to be on next week.
All right. Five Alive, the boy band, Aileen George, pole dancer, Bello Nuck, comic daredevil,
Ooh.
Billy and Emily England, extreme rollerblade duo, Daniel Ferguson, singing impressionist, Diavolo, acrobatic dance group, Herbie Russ, saxophonist, Final Draft, R&B vocal group, J.J. Phillips, keyboardist, Jonathan Rennie, bouncing acrobat, Mike Young, the singer, Oscar Hernandez, dancer, and Preacher Lawson, stand-up comedian, and Shamika Charles, limbo dancer.
Okay, Preacher Lawson better get his acting in gear because I expect him to go through.
Yeah. I hope he does as well.
But that's a pretty good list. It's very light on singers. Maybe some of the other variety stuff will balance out what we're going to see in the live shows.
Yeah. So I guess with that, we'll wrap up the show. Unless there's anything you want to add.
No, I think I'm looking forward to week 3 of Judge Cuts.
Yeah. So if you like the podcast, you could check out everything we have at agtcast.com. You can also follow us on Twitter at AGTtime. And you can write us an iTunes review on Apple Podcasts. I still don't know how to say that. And, just email us, agtcast@gmail.com, because, we got some time to spare for your thoughts. A penny for your thoughts, as they say. So, with that, we will see you next week.
Have a good night.